What's up, people? I'm Shaggy, the Opinionated Hippie, continuing my deep dive into the Who's live catalog with a brand new Who release as of October, November 2025. This is a, a composite 1979 show. A lot of tracks coming from December 7th in Pontiac, Michigan, plus some other tracks coming from shows in Philly and Detroit. But these are shows recorded after the Cincinnati incident in which 11 people were killed, in which they died rushing to the stage, they suffocated, and a bulk of this material is from a show 4 days after that. They played a show the following night, which blows my mind. The show must go on, but this is a little ridiculous. And so I'm going to talk about this composite show, review it, rank it among the other 13 that I've already done, and praise it. Because probably rank it higher than it should be, because I don't know if it's just recency bias, but I really, really enjoyed this release. Yeah, it's 1979, so Keith Moon is no longer there. Kenny Jones is on drums, and I think he does a pretty good job. I don't think there's any complaints as far as the drumming. There is an additional keyboardist, but for the most part, I think it sounds like The Who. I think the set list, or at least the set list, even though this is a composite from like different shows, does resemble the actual set list from the tour. And The Who were not grouping their songs together as much as they have done on other releases that I've heard that are complete shows, in which they'll play like 3 or 4 Who's Next songs in a group. They'll play a bunch of Tommy songs. They'll play a bunch of Quadrophenia songs. When on the It's Hard tour, like almost all the It's Hard songs were like back to back to back to back to back. They're doing a much better job of mixing things up here. And like there are a number of new songs from both Who Are You and then also from Who Are You. And I think they work a little bit better here because there's other stuff between them to sort of give these more room where you're not getting a bunch of new stuff back to back. And actually, as I was listening to this, some of the newer material off Who Are You are some of the better tracks here, which kind of blew my mind. So yeah, I really, really, really enjoyed this. The sound is pretty good. There is a lot of talk between songs of, hey, move back, give people room to breathe. You can hear the anxiety in the band. Like I can't imagine going on stage after like an event you put on caused the death of 11 people. So I'm imagining a lot of what we're hearing in the music is them like exercising these demons and these emotions and these anxieties and whatever it is they're going through. That's got to be pretty intense. And so overall, the entire thing, I think, is just a fascinating listen, and the music is really, really good. Opens up with Substitute, heavy, forceful. Entwistle is a beast. Entwistle is stepping up big time here. It's almost like Entwistle is like, I'm going to make up for my drummer buddy not being around. Absolutely amazing. I Can't Explain. A lot of force. Great energy. Nice 1-2 punch to open. And then they drop a Baba O'Reilly. Crowd goes crazy. It's great to hear just this. The crowd is pretty good in the beginning, but when the Baba O'Reilly starts, it's just like you can hear the crowd. It's kind of nice little motivating factor. Great Baba O'Reilly. After that, we get our first instance of a lot of like, hey man, move back. Just them pleading, like begging the audience to like look out for each other. Then we get the Punk and the Godfather. Really high energy, really aggressive performance of this. Then we get Boris the Spider, which just sounds nasty. The bass, just everything the band's doing. I think the keyboard's adding some pretty kind of, I don't know if it's Pete doing really crazy stuff on guitar or if the keyboard has this really cool effect to just give it this way more aggressive sound. But the Boris just absolutely slays. Then we get a Sister Disco. And this is probably the highlight of the disc up to this point. The Sister Disco just works. I recently did a Who blind ranking and I put Sister Disco last. And I had to kind of go back and like revisit it. It's popped up on a couple live things. My problem with Sister Disco is I don't like the chorus. The goodbye, Sister Disco. And so when I think of the song, I naturally think of the chorus because Sister Disco is in the chorus. It is the weakest part of the song. The rest of the song is amazing. And there is a frenzied, synthesized madness to this that just absolutely works. It's like a little mini suite, a little mini epic. There's all these different parts. This version is nice and jammy, feels really loose. Just absolutely phenomenal. Great, great performance of this song. Then we get a Behind Blue Eyes, which is not one of my favorite songs. The first half does sound pretty good. Pete's guitar sounds really nice. Then we get another new song, which absolutely delivers and might be the highlight of the show up to this point. Music Must Change. We get some horns coming in. Horns are not there all the time, but they come in at some really nice spots throughout the show. Pete Townshend's guitar sounds amazing on here. There's a nice organ jam in here with like a legitimate like organ solo that's pretty awesome. Yeah, really nice guitar solo. The new songs are representing. The band is managing to find the energy and finding the motivation to put a lot into these performances. Drowned is next. Pete is on vocals by this point. Roger's on harmonica. Really good Drowned. Again, this one is one that feels kind of loose, feels kind of jammy. There's horns. Pete goes off on the guitar. And this is a really pretty awesome section of the Sister Disco, Behind Blue Eyes, but then the Music Must Change, which is kind of stretched out. The Drowned, which is always jammed out. Really nice section of the show. After that, we get a Who Are You, which sounds pretty good. A 515, which is super solid with horns. And then we get closing out the first disc, but also pretty much what feels like wrapping up maybe the first half of the show. A Pinball Wizard that just sounds amazing. The energy on this is great. The bass playing is great. They kind of briefly jam out the ending of it before they go into a see me, feel me, hear me, see me, feel me, see me, feel me. Yeah. Sounds huge. Bass playing is great. Just sounds epic. Very anthemic. The horns come in, which I don't really need on this. I think the horns are maybe maybe superfluous on this one, and you could just have the band. But it's big, it's fun, it's different. It has a really big rock ending. And that closes out disc 1 of this show, which feels like a very self-contained performance. The new songs are maybe the highlights. The Sister Disco Music Must Change. The Drowned is fantastic. The sequencing is fantastic. The having Boris, new song. Behind, new song. Drowned, new song. Works really, really well. Disc 2 opens up with Long Live Rock. Perfect setlist placement. Also perfect opener for Disc 2. Love this. It's a fun song. It's got a great groove, great energy. Pete's going off on it. Excellent performance of this. Then we get a My Generation that is a really nice sort of mid-song breakdown in here. Kind of gets jammy, gets a little psyche, gets a little keyboard action in there. Then it gets super crazy. This is it's like a 4.5 minute, so it's not that much longer, but it is nicely jammed out for a 79 My Generation. That goes right into I Can See for Miles. Really nice segue into I Can See for Miles. The build on this is absolutely amazing. The horns come in and drop in. They kind of work. Again, they're not needed, but they work. And I believe this is maybe when the encore break happens, is after I Can See for Miles. After that, we get a Trick of the Light, the Entwistle written song. Nice driving rocker, works really well at this point in the show. The bass playing is absolutely fantastic. And then we get Sparks. And the Sparks is just absolutely amazing. It starts off with Townsend just kind of strumming away. Then the added keyboard sounds really, really work. This is loose. It's incredibly well played. The keyboard aspect definitely adds maybe a more proggy element to the whole thing. Fantastic, fantastic Sparks. Won't Get Fooled Again. Crowd is super rowdy for this one. Really good Won't Get Fooled Again. Then the rest of the show is kind of taken from their encores, in which they would generally jam out various songs, drop a bunch of covers. We get a jam, which is this really cool, guitar-centric upbeat groove that goes into Take a Fool Like You. Really low-key, really cool, funky jamming. Just 5+ minutes of this that absolutely works. This goes into how can you do it alone on face dances. which is not something that would be released for 2 years, but they're just jamming this out and just like having a good time up on stage. I mean, it really sounds loose and free for Kenny to be there, and they're doing this amount of what feels like just straight off the cuff improv centered around a song structure, right? It just, I don't know, there's a looseness to this and a really good vibe to this. Then we get a Magic Bus. Kind of feels like a B-52s song at one point when they all start yelling things, yelling sort of the lyrics to this. It has this real nice looseness to this sort of vocal improv. Entwistle's bass is absolutely phenomenal. This eventually works its way into a summertime blues that kind of feels kind of light and a little like poppy. It's not like your hard-hitting early 70s summertime blues. There's more of a lightness to this, but it's really good. More of a dancey, skippier version, but I really like it. Pete gets really loud on guitar at the end. Then we get this dancing medley of Dancing in the Street and Dance It Away with horns. I don't need the Dancing in the Street. I don't need anybody to cover that ever. But when they go into the sort of solo Pete song, Dance It Away, which has this it's just this jam, and they're just jamming out this two songs. It has this really strange sort of rock vibe, the whole thing does. It's loose, it's free, it feels spontaneous. I don't need the Dancing in the Street. I never need a cover of that song, but I'm willing to forgive this because it does go into Dance It Away, and that's pretty fun. And then we close out the entire thing, and I believe this was the actual encore on the 7th. We get the Real Me, high energy closer, super indulgent guitar, rock climax as the Who are wont to do. I think this is an absolute excellent release. Yes, it is from multiple shows. The most of it's from Pontiac. I think there's one song from Detroit, a couple songs from Philly, but it's just really, really, really good. I don't know. I absolutely love it. I love all the new stuff. I think sounds really fantastic. The old, like dropping a Sparks in there just sounds amazing. All the random jamming stuff that is from different encores, but it works together as one on this release. Makes the second disc really just as fun. Like, doesn't really look like any other Who second disc as far as like the stuff at the end. Like, no other Who disc has Jam, Take a Fool Like You, How Can You Do It Alone, a Magic Bus, a Dancing in the Street, Dancing Away, and a Real Me to close out a show. Great choices. Sister Disco continues to impress me. I really, really enjoyed this. Kind of makes the Who Are You Super Deluxe Edition that much better. Almost makes it essential. Hopefully at some point they'll release this separately just so people who don't want the Who Are You box set can enjoy this, because I think it's pretty special. I absolutely loved it. But anyways, if I were to rank this among the other 13 I have, like I said, it's probably going to be ranked higher than it should be at this point. But I have it at 4. I even got it above some 71 stuff. Maybe it's the energy of the trauma they went through earlier. Maybe it's just them exorcising some demons, exorcising some demons, all that stuff. But all of it adds up to what I think is a really, really fantastic listen. And I recommend you check it out. And that's all I got. Thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts on this if you check it out, if you already have, things I might have messed up on and all that stuff. But yeah, subscribe, like, share, comment, do those things. In peace, go enjoy some Who, people. It's a good listen. Talk to you later.